Hello and welcome back to George's Gaming Guide. It's been about 6 months since I did a video, so it's good to be back at last. And today we're going to start off with a 1/8 scale Ferrari SF-24 Formula 1 car. Set number is 42207 and comes with its impressive 1361 pieces. Very classic Scuderia livery on this, so yeah, it looks really good. The engine, they've got the V6 engine, and it's got the spinning MGU-H part of the engine, so you can actually see that working. It's got working steering. It's got new style of printed tyres on it as well. Got the DRS wing that can open, which I believe was on the McLaren as well. Not McLaren, the Mercedes. And it's got push-pull rod suspension as well, so there's going to be plenty of detail in this. Not only is there loads of detail, but it's a big set as well, the same as the last two cars. So it's about 5 inches high, which is 13 centimetres high. It's 61 centimetres or 24 inches long, and 24 centimetres or 9.5 inches wide. So it's a sizable set, and I think it's going to look pretty good next to the Mercedes and the McLaren. So not a huge amount of detail on the box. So you just get a different view on the back of the box. You've got your dimensions at the bottom corner. It shows that they've actually got a new way of actually viewing the engine now, because it's a bit harder to see the engine on the old one. And then just the workable steering. And overall, I think this looks like it's going to be a really impressive set. So just before we get into the build, let's have a quick look on the inside. I'm hoping the presentation for this is going to be nice. As I know, it's not quite the same as the supercar ones you get, which have the amazing manuals, but I'm still expecting this to be a very nice standard on the inside. So let's get that open. Still not convinced about the new boxes where it's lift off lid. Not as great for storing, to be honest. So so we have a box on the inside, which I'm not quite sure what that is. Let's have a look. Well, that's the tyres. So I have the new printed P0 tyres, and they look pretty good, to be honest. Quite like that. Got the wheel hubs, and it looks like, I think it's 10 sets of bags, so it's not too bad. Oh wow, seems a reasonably sized book. So they've actually designed the way, changed the way the package is. It used to be in the plain white cardboard, so I'm not sure why they've changed it to this style, but let's have a quick look. So one thing that's better with these, they've actually put the stickers on the inside with the book as well. So that's the improvement, because we have had in the past where the stickers have all been screwed up. And as with any Formula 1 set, there are plenty of stickers. So it's going to be fun and games to get all these on exactly symmetrical. So it will take me quite a while to build these, because I do like to take my time on the build with the stickers. And we have a pretty sizable book with 306 pages. So that's going to be a nice build. So I've got Racing with the Champions, only a bit of the history of the Formula 1 car. Got a picture of the designer as well. And then the two cars which show the release, I think it was March these came out in. So the Red Bull racing car will be on a future video. I'm just not as keen on the Red Bull. I've always been a Ferrari man, and I'm a big fan of Lewis Hamilton as well. So Ferrari, Mercedes and McLaren has been quite good so far for me. As I say, too many stickers, and it looks like one of these somewhere. That might be the bit that goes across at the back of the car above the engine cover. So you got that just on its own in the box. But yeah, I think this is going to look amazing when it's done, so let's get straight on with the build. So here we have the completed Ferrari SF-24, and it has to be said I'm really happy with this build. The build itself was reasonably complicated. I say to get some of the angles, there was some genius techniques to use. It was very, very well designed. The push-pull rod suspension, as I say, works really well. There's a bit too much movement in it, but it is Lego, so there's only so much they're going to be able to do. I think the look of it is fantastic. This is actually based on the 2024 car, not this year's, but it just looks amazing. I think the red with the black sort of really makes this this stand out. And I do love the fact they've got these printed wheels as well. Again, just finishes the model. I might actually see if I can get some of these wheels to put on the Mercedes we built last year, because I think they do look a lot better. Overall, I'd say it was a really good build. One thing I don't like is they got the steering on top, which I think they did on the last one as well, but I took out because I think it's not needed for what we want. Yeah, it's going to be a display car that's on the wall, and there's so many stickers. Yeah, I can't remember how many there were exactly, but the build actually took me sort of 4 3/4 hours. A big part of that would have been trying to get these stickers in the correct positions, because we're going to be looking at it from the top to try and make sure that everything was pretty much exactly symmetrical. I did take my time on, because as I say, I think if one side doesn't match the other, when you look at it from the top, it's just going to stand out. So just made sure that I was 100% certain on how this is going to fit on. And I have just noticed that I've actually got the wing mirrors 90 degrees round, so let me put them correct. I must have just pushed them in actually, because I think they do rotate. So let's go on to onto some of the features of this. So as I say, the build itself, it's very complex. It's extremely solid, this build. Everything locks into place really well in multiple locations. So yeah, you've got a little bit of flex in bodywork. Like this one's not actually held on at the back here, but it's held on at several points throughout the front part of this section that you build, and it just feels like it's not going to fall apart, which you do get on some of the models, but this is fantastic. So starting at the rear, so we've got the rear light, so the rain light we have on the back, and the one that shows when you're harvesting energy. You do have a removable DRS, but the bar that would attach to it doesn't move, so I think it just makes sense that it just sits on top of that bar like it shows in the instructions. So it looks like it is actually connected, and I think that works quite well. These stickers were absolute pain, so I had to actually remove both of them because I wasn't happy with the way they looked. So they're now straighter. So you've got the winglets on the side, which we've got the stickers on both sides, so there's 3 stickers just on this one piece on either side. But I think that works really well. I think it's a really good representation of what the rear wing looked like on last year's car. One thing that's a bit new for this one compared to the others, it was really hard to see the engine. So you built V6 engine, but you can actually see what was going on in the car because it was completely hidden. On this one, you can actually remove the engine cover, which again is very well built. It's very sturdy even when it's not on the car. In here you'll find your gearbox, so it's got a 2-speed gearbox on this build. If you have it in the centre, the pistons won't move, and also the MGU-H doesn't spin. And then if you push it to the front, they'll spin slower. If you push it to the back, it'll spin a bit quicker. And I don't mind that. It didn't really need a gearbox, but it's just a bit of extra engineering that went into this. I say the MGU-H, for anyone that's sort of not following Formula One. So the MGU-H is a heat recovery system. So using the heat from the exhaust gases, it will spin the motor, and it's got two things. So one, it will convert that heat into electricity, and you can use that either for the power delivery, or to actually send to the battery so it can be used in other parts of the race. And it's used when you're doing the engine recovery. That's when this comes into place. So I think it's quite nice that they've put that in there. As you may be able to pick up, it is moving, so the pistons are going up and down, and the MGU-H is moving. The gearbox, it's the normal one. It's actually hidden under there, so you can see the way that the wheels move independently at the back. But it's a bit hard to see on the video. And the cover itself literally just slips back in, so it's nice and easy to remove. And it's going to be on the wall, and it's very sturdy when it's in that position, so that's well designed. The steering wheel, it would be nice to see sort of proper design Formula One steering wheel. Yeah, they're doing enough of these cars now to warrant the fact that there's actually a properly moulded Formula One steering wheel. So that's a bit disappointing they haven't put it in this. It's not bad. Looks a bit more like you get in the Batmobile rather than a Formula One car. And it works. Yeah, it's I will be using just this. Well, I'll be keeping that in there. This wheel on top will be removed because it just doesn't need it. And it's got yellow in the middle of it. It just doesn't look right. So that would be coming off. The liveries down the side, I think, is really nice. To get this line going all the way through correctly. That's one of the things I wanted to make sure. So everything lined up. So I think it's just about there. But it did take me a little while. I'm not the quickest when it comes to putting stickers on. And there were a lot of stickers. You can see top and bottom on this one. There's all the stickers around the side. You've got, I think there's 6 stickers just in this section. So, yeah, it's a lot, but it works, and I think it needed it because that's what you'd see on the actual car. You've got all the aerodynamics on the floor as you go into it. So the 3 blades at the bottom and the one that gets the airflow around the outside of the car. Loads more stickers around the nose section as well. Again, I think they've captured the shape of this really well. The same as they did for the Mercedes. I think the Mercedes was probably harder for them to design because it's a completely different format to what McLaren was and what this is, in the way that there wasn't much of the bodywork. There's a lot of floor panel because they tried the innovative, sort of cutting out the side pods last year that unfortunately didn't work. But yeah, they've captured the shape really well. So there's open gaps in there, but because it's black, you don't really see that. But it just looks pretty much like the actual car. The front suspension, again, it's got the push-pull rod. I think works really well. One thing I'd like to have seen them to do, but I don't know how they would have done it, was to move these bits that go over the wheel. I don't think they're big enough. They probably need a different part for that. But because it's actually attached to the suspension part rather than where the wheel is, when the suspension moves, they move inwards. So I don't know how easy you see that. Yeah, it's not picking up that much, but the whole thing moves rather than being stationary with where the wheel is. but it's not a problem. Yeah, it's tilting. It's not a problem. I say it's going to be on the wall. We're not going to really see that. And then the front wing, again, there's lots of components into that. Again, lots of stickers. But I think it's come out fairly well. I think they're all fairly central, and I think the symmetry works nicely on that. But it just looks a fantastic build. I say the red and black, for me, it just, out of the three I've built so far, this is my favourite. I say the Mercedes looks amazing. There's no two ways about it. But you don't see the small intricacies of the Mercedes because it's black on black. The McLaren the year before that was a little bit more simplistic. I think they've improved the way they've designed this quite a lot in those 2 years. And with this being the red and black, you really see just the little details really pop out, and yeah, it looks like a proper Formula 1 car. So very, very impressed. There's not a lot of detail when you get on the inside. There is a seat there, very basic, but it works. And the halo that I have around, I think it's quite nice. They've done the two colours, because you will see that on the proper car that is red and black, and they've just used two separate flexible tube parts to get that on the inside and out, and it actually works really well. And yeah, so it's definitely recommend this. So I think there's not a lot more to say. I will try to find out a way to get this on the wall next to the others. Still got the Red Bull to build, so when we build that one, I'll probably do a video that's got all four of them so you can see them all together. I presume they're going to carry on with the rest of the teams, which means there should be at least another 7 more sets to come out with the, is it Pontiac or Chevrolet coming in next year? Can't remember now. So it's actually going to be good, but it'd be good if we have some of the, like Williams and things like that, because their history in Formula 1 is amazing. So yeah, it'd be good to get that. But yeah, definitely recommend. Out of the cars that come out so far, I think the Ferrari is the one I'd go for. I say it's just a shame it's not this year's one, because it would have been nice to be the one that Lewis Hamilton's driving at the minute. But the Mercedes was that, so it's yeah, so it's not a big issue, but it would have been quite nice. They have left the numbers off, so it's not sort of assigned to any driver. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you soon.
If you enjoyed today's video, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment your thoughts about it, and also make sure you watch out for next Sunday's video, which is going to be my review of the gift repurchase Retro Record Player.